right? And this is when the devil, Satan, the enemy, the opposition, he tries to stop God's word from being fulfilled. This can take place in so many husband and a wife, and the husband is like, oh, I'm just gonna have a couple more drinks, just 2-3 more drinks, I'll be okay. Then he ends up splurging and goes and sleeps and cheats on his wife and has an affair. It could take place with your parents. Your parents are just looking out for you, but you say, oh, I'm just gonna sneak out, I'm just gonna go hang out with my buddies, and then you end up going and smoking weed, and then you end up becoming it might be extreme, but then you might end up doing, hanging out with the wrong crowd, doing bad things. It might lead to you stealing, spiritual warfare is the enemy pretty much tempting you and getting you to do these bad things. It's the back and forth between right and wrong. So what the heck does this have to do with forgiveness? Has everything to do with it, because when you forgive someone, you're forgiving someone for something they did wrong, right? And why did they do that? Something wrong, whether it was a temptation or just something bad they did. It's spiritual warfare. It's the devil's plan to get them to do that bad thing. That's why there's forgiveness needed in the first place. So for an example, if you let's say your boyfriend cheats on you or something, and you have to forgive him, that can be a very tough thing to do, and obviously that can break a lot of trust, and that can be very hard to do. But if you're coming from that perspective from the girl, you have to forgive. Otherwise, first of all, you're just going to be replaying the pain and that bad stuff in your own heart. But when you forgive, you become free of that. But you have to realize that it probably wasn't your boyfriend's intention. Obviously this isn't the case 100% of the time, but your boyfriend could have been just tempted in that case. Or if it's roles reversed, if your girlfriend cheated on you, it's extremely difficult to do, but you have to realize that there was a temptation there, and temptation does not come from God, it comes from the devil. So at the same time, you want to forgive, you have to show accountability for actions. Someone has to be accountable. Just because they say sorry, sorry doesn't fix nothing, because at the end of the day, the deed was still done, the action was still done. So they have to be accountable for their actions. But if you want to forgive easy, the key to that is to understand that there was a temptation, there was some type of spiritual warfare going on there with the devil. So I hope this makes sense, and just a couple examples in my own life. When I moved out of Florida, I had this big breakout pretty much with my my family member, and this family member I just had the biggest grudge for the longest time, and I just felt like I couldn't forgive him. And I was just like, this person did that, this person, blaming. I had a grudge. Every time I brought them up, I just felt like I could gossip about them, and that's not a good thing to do, because that's bringing negativity, that's causing separation. Gossip is not good, and there's a fine line between gossip being therapeutic and you just venting, and it being complaining and becoming a victim. And that's one thing I want to say real quick, is that anytime you point the finger and you blame that person, that incident, that situation, that circumstance, the moment you point the finger and blame is the exact moment that you become a victim, and you accept to not ever have control of your life. If you want to have control and not be a victim, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything. You have to be in charge. You have to own all of your actions, because with no accountability, there is no growth. You have to be able to hold yourself accountable and take responsibility for all of your actions. So that's besides the point, but I was unable to forgive this person, right? And what ended up working for me was realizing that this person, my family, she actually had a good heart. She actually wanted to help me, and she actually wanted to you know, to see me grow in all these things. She had love for me, but there was just something there that she wasn't able to do it in the right way. Her approach, you know, it didn't work out. And you know, I know that it was the enemy, because pretty much like we had one night, there was like a breakout, and you know, just it wasn't good. And I know that it was spiritual attacks, and she admitted it as well. She told me that she thought it was spiritual attacks. And there was just one night where she just really angry with me, and really you know, some things went down that, you know, I know that if she was in a super like peaceful like state of mind, like that wouldn't have happened. But the thing is, that's spiritual warfare. We've all done it. It's not just her. We've all, you know, we've all fallen. Romans 3:23 says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So we all have those moments. But anyways, I was unable to forgive her for a long time. I started to realize, look, that's not her. It's not her true intent. That's not her heart. And instead of getting mad at her, I started to get mad at the enemy, because it's like, damn, dude, like that's your strategy. That's the enemy's strategy. That's his weapon. It's to get you to lose all emotional intelligence, emotional control, to act out, to make dumb decisions pretty much, and to do the wrong actions, and to get you to do those bad things. And I started to realize that's not her. That's the enemy. And what does the enemy do as soon as you do those wrong actions? As soon as you make that wrong decision, shame, guilt, you know, all those things. You beat yourself up. That's literally his strategy. And it works for most people. They start to beat themselves up. They starts to cause separation. All these different things, right? And so that's one example. And I did forgive her. And you know, forgiveness is not just a one-time forgive and that's it. If you really struggle to forgive someone, if you really have a grudge, if something really went down, it's gonna take a long time. You'll forgive them, and then the feelings might come back up again. And you have to remind yourself that of those things, that it's the enemy. It's not her true intent. It's not her true heart. And whatever that person did, whatever that thing is, and remind yourself of that, to forgive again. You know, you have to constantly do that. And it's a struggle. It's hard. It's why not a lot of people forgive. It's why a lot of people hold that grudge and hold that hate in their heart. And there's a quote, it says, like, I forget the name, I forget how it goes, but it's like, being unwilling to forgive is like being the prisoner of your own, I don't remember the name, I don't remember how it goes, but it's pretty much saying, like, you're trapped in your own cell. Like you're the prisoner, because you're holding yourself captive. Like, every time you think of that person, that incident, that problem that happened, you are reliving that pain when they're already free from it. So it just doesn't make sense. And another thing is with I was just gonna use this other example of the enemy's tactics, right? You know, I used to smoke weed a ton, and I would tell myself that I wasn't gonna smoke, and then what would I do? I'd go and smoke, and then I would beat myself up. I'd get all down. I had so much broken character, and that is the enemy's tactic, is to get you to tell yourself it's okay, just one more time. As soon as you do it, shame, guilt, all that stuff. What does it have to do with forgiveness? If you're the person that caused the problem or whatever it is, don't beat yourself up. Learn from it. Take responsibility for your actions, and grow from it. That's all you can do. You cannot beat yourself up, because that's what the enemy wants you to do. So, just recently, you know, I forgave my best friend. You know, one of my best friends. Something happened, and you know, it's pretty disappointing, but I forgive him, because I know deep down that's not his heart. That's not what you know, that's not what he would do. And what does the Bible tell us? Stay sober, stay vigilant, because the devil roams around like a roaring lion trying to devour. And that's what happens when you don't when you don't stay sober, when you don't stay vigilant. That's why the enemy, another one of his tactics is to get you to be a drunkard, to be under the influence of whatever it is. I don't know why Aldi is closed right now. I was about to run in, but that's what he wants you to do, is to not be sober, not be vigilant, so that he can lead you to that temptation and fall. But anyways, I forgave my friend because I know that wasn't his heart. Another example, I had to forgive my sister. This is a different family member, right? I forgive multiple family members, right? And my sister did something that it was really disappointing just recently, and I want her to be accountable for her actions. I want her to understand, ultimately, she made that decision. She's the one that took the actions. Sorry doesn't make up for it. The deed's already done. The action is already done. Sorry doesn't make up for it. I wanted her to be accountable for her actions, but at the same time, I forgive her. I forgave her because I know that that's what the enemy's going to do. There's something that happened where, she's under the influence and fell to temptation pretty much. And I forgave her because I know that's not her heart. I know that's, that's what the enemy wants you to do. And when you start to view life in that light of, it's all spiritual warfare. It's all, when you see the devil working, you start to build a fire within you that, look, I don't want to fall victim. I don't want to be another statistic to the enemy's tactics and strategies. I don't want to be another one that falls short. And you can start fighting. And you can pray for these people, as well, that fall short. But ultimately, you pray that you overcome it as well. And you start to see how you start to see these what used to be problems as opportunities to prove that you will not fall for the devil. No weapon formed shall prosper. You will begin to start making the right decisions, right? And it's not easy, but when you kind of start to wake up a little bit and see how the devil works and spiritual warfare that goes on. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. Just wanted to mention my own little testimony right here, that that's how I have forgiven. This is not something that I didn't look up one video on how to forgive, what's the best strategy, and then reiterate what I just learned. This is solely based off of experience and what I know has worked for me in my own life. And it's tough. It's hard to forgive, but you can. It might take some time. It might take some effort, persistence. But another thing I would say is to just honestly lean on Jesus. Literally pray to God. Pray to our Father. Pray to the Lord, right? And I want to mention just something real quick, that when I had some resent come back to me for this family member when I left Florida, I had these emotions. I originally forgave. The emotions came back, and I was having such a hard time forgiving. Like the second time the emotions came back up, the resent. I had hatred. I literally had hatred in my heart, anger in my heart for this family member, and I was just like, I literally thought it would take at least like 2 years for me to forgive. And I remember driving in my car, and I prayed I literally asked Jesus to come into my life and to help me forgive my sister. I remember this moment like it was yesterday. I was praying. I said, Jesus, please help me forgive. Help me to heal this pain in my heart immediately. This is one of the few times this happened in my life. I know people always say these miracles, like, whoa, all these crazy things. No doubt miracles can happen, but I'm never one to exaggerate or to tell fairy tales, because that's I'm trying to keep it real. And this is a moment in my life where I immediately felt complete alleviation. I asked Jesus to heal, to take that pain, to help me forgive. And I just remember the amount of alleviation that I felt. I felt so light. I felt like from this burden to literally so light. It's like I completely like opened up. And I felt literally the Holy Spirit like helping me to heal and forgive. And I remember I went to the gym and I ran so much. I ran like, I think it was at least like 6-7 miles, but at a really good pace. I ran so much. I just felt such joy, such freedom. And that is what Jesus will do. It doesn't matter if you're in a bum situation. It doesn't matter if you're broke, busted, disgusted, oppressed, depressed, trying to pass another test. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't change the fact that God is a healer, that he's a way maker, that he's all these things. So if you have faith, if you trust, if you believe in him, if you have the desire to forgive in the faith that it will happen, it will happen. So hope this video wasn't too long and drawn out, but just wanted to share those thoughts. And thanks for watching, making it to the end. Hope you have a blessed day. It's New Year's, 2025. I hope it's a blessed year, and I hope that this year you get closer to God than ever before. So forgiveness is an amazing thing to do. Go do it. It will bring you extreme freedom and alleviation and joy. So I hope that helped in some type of way. Peace out.